Hey guys, and welcome back to another amazing video. Yes, that is right. You are hearing me correctly. It is another video recorded within the same month. So, I mean, that's pretty crazy. You never would have thought that I'd be uploading so soon, didn't you? Well, you'd be wrong because here I am. And today we're going to be doing something very fun, like talking about the very recent release OLED model for the Nintendo Switch. Because, I don't know, I wanted to make a video and I wanted something to talk about. I want to try out the whole commentary video kind of thing. And what better thing to talk about than something that happened very recently? That being the Switch OLED model being released and that kind of thing. So yeah, the Switch OLED model recently released, and it's pretty cool. I mean, like if you really wanted to, like if you've never had a Switch before, like if this is your first Switch, if this is like baby's first Switch or whatever, like sure, it works for that purpose. But in terms of an upgrade, like you really want to spend a whole nother like $350 USD on a whole nother like Switch just for that little bit of an upgrade. Like, come on, really? Like, I don't know. I personally don't see the point in it, because like I don't know. Now, the bigger question, will I be getting one? No, of course not. Why would I ever do that? That is a complete waste of money, and it's money that I don't even have. So yeah, I'm not going to bother with making the quote-unquote upgrade because, like, let's be honest right here, the thing is barely even an upgrade. I mean, what you get a wider kickstand, you get things that should have been included with the default Switch, like a bigger internal storage space and that kind of stuff. Like, wow, real creative stuff that should have been on the original model, but for some reason weren't. So I don't know why that's just being added. And if they were gonna add it to the new models or the original models, why didn't they do that with the quote like revamp they did a while ago? Because I remember they had like the original box, and then they changed it to be this all red box. So if I remember correctly, that was a like updated hardware, like minor hardware revamp or whatever. So why didn't they just include that stuff in that model of the Switch instead of you having to pay $50 extra to buy a whole new Switch? I don't know. The whole thing is backwards, but then again, this is Nintendo we're talking about, so I mean, it's not that expected, but I don't know. It's an interesting thing to say the least. I mean, like, yeah, you obviously get the things that it's advertised in, like, the bigger screen, but at the end of the day, like, what do you really like the games that are made for the system, like they're made for the Nintendo Switch, as in like the OG model, or at least many of the games that people already have in circulation and that kind of thing. So are you really going to notice that much of a difference? Like, does it really matter if you notice a couple more pixels when you're playing like Mario Kart, like everything is just going so fast when you're just moving down the track and just playing any game, for example, like even just something like Breath of the Wild. Like, even then, it's not super noticeable just to notice those few bits of pixels because not every single game even uses the system's capabilities, Like Breath of the Wild's art style, it's made in a way where it's not like, super daunting, like it's not on the lines of, say, GTA 5 or Skyrim or anything like that. So, I mean, like, are you really going to notice? Like, obviously there's going to be a difference, like if you look at a game from, the 1980s compared to a game today, obviously you're going to see a massive graphical, like, upgrade and that kind of thing. But in all honesty, does it really matter noticing a couple more pixels? Like, I don't know. That's just me. And that's just me who plays a lot of Nintendo games. So personally, like, obviously playing a bunch of Nintendo games, graphics are not at all the concern in the world when it comes to these games, because let's be honest here, frankly, most games that come out on the Nintendo Switch are barely really pushing the system's hardware, because every single game on there is designed in such a way where it can be played both handheld and portably. And just in all fairness, it's not made to be the most like physically daunting game ever, like I said, Breath of the Wild, the art style of that game. And another game that just came to mind, Link's Awakening. Like, that game, without a doubt, is not pushing the system's hardware. I don't know, maybe I could be wrong, but at the same time, like, think about it, right? Like, yes, it's a very good looking game, but at the same time, the way the art style is, it's not a game that requires, like, a beefy, like, CPU inside of a Switch. So, in all honesty, like, the little bit of graphical, like, upgrades, if you will, they just don't honestly matter. But I don't know, that's my personal thoughts on it. You can have your own different thoughts in the comments down below. But I don't know, that leaves the question, are any of you going to be getting the Switch OLED model? I mean, as I said before, I personally am not, because why? That's the biggest thing about it. But in all honesty, like, is anybody else out there gonna get this OLED model? I'm very curious. If you're watching this video and you're actually thinking about getting the OLED model, not only like explain why you're getting the OLED model, because that that is one of the things I'm very curious about, but also, like, is this your first Switch? Because obviously, if you're getting the OLED model and you've never had a Switch before, then yeah, you know, obviously the OLED model makes sense, like just $50 extra for, you know, some upgraded specs and that kind of thing. Like, yeah, you know, I'm not saying it would be a no-brainer, but I mean, in all honesty, like, you know, why not? It's like $50 more. I say that as if $50 is not a lot of money, but I mean, like, you know, if you've never had a Switch before and you want to get the OLED model, you know, might as well. It's only $50 more, even though $50 more is a lot of money. That's basically an entire Switch game. But regardless, though, like, I don't know. I just don't see the purpose in upgrading, you know? Like, we've had the Switch since 2017, and it's only now that they're getting, like, a fully committed, like, system upgrade, you know? And I just don't see the point. Like, the original Switch system has lasted us for the past 4 years. So, aside from Joy-Con drift, which we don't talk about, which, you know, they said that they fixed Joy-Con drift, which they haven't. That's a complete lie. We all know that that's a lie. Joy-Con drift is unfortunately going to be a thing that will plague the Switch probably for its entire lifetime, unless it magically goes away by some miracle. Which, like, how does that even happen? Why is that even a thing? Why? This is the 21st century, and we have issues like Joy-Con drift. Like, I can't name any other controller at any point in time that's ever experienced something along the lines of Joy-Con drift. Like, it's honestly just funny how this even happens, you know? Like, why? Nintendo, why? But then again, like I said before, like earlier on in this video, this is Nintendo we're talking about, and Nintendo is not usually the type to make very good decisions. So, yep, that's a thing. But I don't know, that's just personally my thoughts on the OLED model. I don't know what the point of this video was. Was it like a discussion kind of video? I mean, maybe. All I did was just give my thoughts, but at the same time, it wasn't really a discussion video because it's not really engaging, and if nobody watches this video and or comments on it, and it just gets forgotten in the YouTube algorithm, which, by the way, you know, another thing why it's a good idea to make this video is because it might be good for the YouTube algorithm, since the Switch OLED model is kind of relevant still, fingers crossed. I mean, it's kind of being outcast by Squid Game, which, if you're watching this video in like 2 years, that'll show that this video is very dated. But as of right now, at the date of recording this, Squid Game is still very new. But I don't know, maybe Squid Game has surpassed the OLED model, or maybe this OLED model was never relevant to begin with, and I'm just making all this stuff up. But I'm like 90% sure that that wasn't the case. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to wrap up this video. It was just a short video. I didn't really have anything planned out, like hardly any of the videos that I make nowadays. Which, speaking of which, I do have an upcoming video that I am working very hard on. I think it's going to be a very good video. It's an actual proper video. It's not just me sitting down and just talking like recent videos have usually been. I haven't made like a proper video in quite a while, which, you know, hopefully should be coming very soon. I say very soon, but that probably is going to mean like in a month from now. But I'm working on it, and I'm hoping that I can work on it very diligently. But as I said before in previous videos, that's a little difficult, but I'm going to try my best. But yeah, I'm going to try not to ramble from here on out. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this commentary. Hopefully I can get another video in like the recent future to be uploaded. That was a really weird sentence, but you get what I'm saying, right? I want to upload more frequently, and through this video, you know, being semi-weekly, we're kind of off to a good start. So yeah, anyways, like I said before, I'm going to stop my rambling now. I don't want to waste too much of you guys' time. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As I said before, let me know your little discussion bits on the OLED model and thoughts and all that kind of stuff, and I'll reply to it, because I reply to all my comments, because it's very easy for me to keep track of my comments and that kind of thing. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna stop my rambling now, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace. Bye.